Hello and good morning, Panther fans. I hope everyone is doing well on this Friday, August 10th. Um, what can I say? I am excited about this football season, especially after last season, where the Panthers pretty much embarrassed us. Let's be honest. I mean, we went from 17-2 to 6-10, and losing what 5, 6 games by 3 points each. It's good to have Luke back, and you know our offense and defense looking healthy and good. I was very pleased with what I saw last night, especially from Christian McCaffrey and Joe Webb and Kawan Short. All three of those guys really stood out for me. Let's start off with the defense. The defense, I don't know how good the Texans' offensive line is, and I'm well aware that their quarterback situation isn't the most ideal one, where you have one guy, Tom Savage, who has very little experience under his belt, and then the other, where you have a national championship winner at Clemson, who obviously there were a lot of supporters there in Charlotte cheering him on, and Deshaun Watson. And so it's not the most ideal situation, but all I know is that our defense looked like the defense of old. As Wayne Diesel used to say, the Great Wall of Carolina. That's what it looked like. It very much reminded me of like the 2013 style defense. Of course, it was a very small sample, and the Texans aren't exactly known for the great offense. So I think we'll be challenged a little bit more with Marcus Mariota next week, next Saturday to be exact, in Tennessee, because that offense is better and their quarterback situation is a bit more established. But nonetheless, just based on what I saw, the starting defense looked very stout. Kawan Short making 2 out of the first 3 plays. I mean, he's looking like a beast. He's looking like 2015 form, where he had what, I don't know how many sacks. It was like 11 sacks or something like that. But yeah, I was very pleased with what I saw from that defense. Um, and I just hope to see more of it. Now, as far as the backup defenders, they kind of got gashed a little bit in the running game. I know Alfred Blue he was able to find some running lanes. I wasn't very pleased to see that, but I know a lot of those guys are inexperienced. On the flip side, though, I would say the team as a whole, and you got to think about this, like there's 90 players, right? And we didn't have hardly any penalties at all. I thought that was very impressive. Typically speaking, when you have inexperienced guys and young rookies, they're bound to be nervous. They're bound to make uh, uncharacteristic mistakes that they wouldn't necessarily make in practice when the lights are on, the cameras are on, and stuff like that. Um, but so to see them play that discipline is pretty promising, at least. Let's see what else. In terms of the offense, I was very pleased with the protection that the offensive line was able to give all three quarterbacks all night long. Um, I you know I thought, let's see, whose performance really stood out to me. I thought Trey Turner looked good, and there were some other the Taylor Moton, or however you pronounce his name. I thought he played well. Um, and I was really impressed with Christian McCaffrey. He is as good as advertised. I really didn't know what to expect. I had heard some good things when I was texting Panther Nasty, and he was telling me that he was really good. And we saw that on display last night, where he didn't get, you know he got positive yards every single time he touched the ball. It was pretty simple, just off tackle runs or up the middle, that kind of thing. There was nothing special about it, but yet he has a lot of burst and quickness, and I was really impressed by that. Um, and I can't wait till we actually start to run more of our plays when you have little screens and you get him out in space against those linebackers. He is going to demolish them. I just can't wait for this. I thought Cameron Artis Payne, he did a serviceable job as well. In terms of the receiving core, Demir Bird obviously lit it up. He proved that he can be a deep threat and he's a good return man. In fact, it's amazing how the Carolina return game, we went several years having below average return men, right? Where we have Armani Edwards and Ryan Robinson and other guys who are just kind of eh. And then all of a sudden, now we have a good situation where we have at least three different really good return men. And let's not forget about Brenton Burson, who was absolutely terrible. Him and Philly Brown, So I'm finally thankful that we have a legit competition at the return game, and with Demir Bird kind of leading the way. And I really do hope that Demir Bird can make this team. I really wanted to see more of him last season, and I think it's kind of puzzling why they didn't play him. Nonetheless, he's looking good now, and that's all that matters. Kelvin Benjamin, he's looking like Kelvin Benjamin. I really like the stiff arm that he did on the first play. He got a touchdown, so that's good to see. He's borderline uncoverable when he gives 100% effort, and that's the only thing about Kelvin, other than the drops. That's one thing, but also sometimes he doesn't always have the most heart. He doesn't always give the most effort, and but nonetheless, it's good that he was able to get that touchdown. I thought all three quarterbacks played well. Garrett Gilbert, I didn't really know what to expect from him. I know in the past we've had some stinkers come out in that fourth quarter, but he did a serviceable job. Joe Webb, he had the uncharacteristic interception, but nonetheless, he was, I thought, the MVP of the game. Derek Anderson, of course, he found Kelvin Benjamin, and he did a pretty good job as well. So I was just very pleased all around. The interesting thing is that I feel like I don't know if Graham Gano is going to lose his job, but he better start making some of those kicks, because we saw last night Harrison Butker, I believe is his name. I hope I'm not butchering his name, but he made the long field goal last night. So if Graham Gano is not careful, he could end up losing his job. Nonetheless, I think Harrison has a future with us, and I think it's a little risky to put him on our practice squad, because he might get scooped up by someone else, and then we never have a chance to keep him, which would be a shame, because I do think he has some potential. Let's see, I'm trying to think of, is there anything else that was noteworthy? I thought the linebacking core, of course, they look solid. What's his name? Jared Norris. I thought he was a standout. And David Mayo, he's continued to show progressions as he gets more experience. There's really no one else in the receiving core to go back to the offense. I know I'm all over the place, but to go back to the offense, I don't know if there's anyone else in the receiving core that really stands out. I guess Kieres Garrett, he has great hands. He has speed, and he can catch balls over the middle, so he's a very balanced receiver. Perhaps maybe he'll have a chance to maybe make the team. Of course, that's iffy. But I think we would be making a mistake to let him slip away, because I have a feeling that he just has a lot of potential. and he has good size as well. So I would ideally like to see him, but the competition is still pretty close right now. I want to see more from Charles Johnson and Russell Shepard, see what they can do. On the injury front, we we lost Vernon Butler again. I don't know how long. I mean, last I heard this morning was that he was going to have an MRI, and hopefully the results are promising. Because based on what I heard from Mike Rucker in his commentary last night, is that he was basically unblockable in training camp. So it would be very nice in terms of depth in case Starr or Quan Short go down to have him. But if not, then hopefully we can find some other guys to plug in. Let's see what else. And also Brenton Burson, he also went down. Brenton Burson is a guy who he has pretty good hands, but in terms of overall talent, I don't know that he's as talented as some of the other guys. I kind of wanted to see him dropped last season, but we'll see where that goes. Nonetheless, that's my recap. I'm looking forward to next week against Tennessee. I think that's going to be a good test. They have a pretty good defense, and Marcus Mariota, and you have a good running back. So it'll definitely be a good test for us, because I think Tennessee is going to be one of the better teams in the AFC. So anyway, that's my analysis of the week 1 of the preseason. I thank you for watching, and I hope everyone has a good weekend. Peace.